guys, I'm Kimberly from Fact Quarter Shop, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pillowcase in 10 minutes. It's a very easy pillowcase. It uses a French seam so you won't have any raw edges showing, and it's going to last a super long time because of that. So let's get started. For these quick pillowcases, all you need are 3 fabrics. You have your pillow body, your accent, and your cuff. And this right here is going to be a French seam. I'm going to show you how to do that today. You don't need anything special on your sewing machine, but it's going to give you pillowcases with no raw edges, and you're going to love it. So first, I'm going to give you fabric requirements for your standard size pillowcase. You will need 7/8 yard for your body fabric, 3/8 yard for your cuff fabric, and a 2.5 by width of fabric strip for your accent fabric. If you're making a king size pillowcase, you need 1/8 yards for your body, 3/8 yard for your cuff, and a 2.5 inch width of fabric for your accent fabric. The instructions today are going to be for a standard pillowcase. You would just use the same technique for the king and use the different sizes that I provide to you. For your standard pillowcase, trim your body fabric to 27 inches by width of fabric, making sure each end is straight. Your cuff fabric will be 11 inches by width of fabric, and your accent fabric will be 2.5 inches by width of fabric. For your king pillowcase, you'll trim your body fabric to 36 inches by width of fabric, your cuff fabric to 11 inches by width of fabric, and your accent fabric to 2.5 inches by width of fabric. Once you cut all of your fabric, we can get started and I can show you how to make this fun pillowcase. Now I'm going to show you how to make a standard size pillowcase. And like I said, make sure when you're cutting your fabrics, you cut at a nice 90-degree angle on all of your sides. The first thing we're going to do is take our 2.5 inch width of fabric strip. We're going to take this to the iron, place our wrong sides together, and press all the way across this piece. Now we're going to lay out our pillowcase. So we're using a directional print for our cuff, and this is the way we want our piece to lay. And we're going to lay that down in that same direction. This is going to be your cuff. Then we're going to take our accent fabric and we're going to put the raw edges against the cuff right here. Now this print is directional, but the pieces go both directions, so you can put this however you want. You're going to take this, which is the body, you're going to flip this over and put it right here. And I'm going to put some pins in place to keep it secure at this point. You could also use Wonder Clips. It's totally up to you. I'm just doing pins because I think I'll get a better result with pins. And you just want to make sure all of these layers are put together right at the edge, really nice and neat. So now you're going to take the body of your pillowcase and you're going to roll it up without wrinkling it, and just try to roll it as skinny as you can. You're going to take this and now join these together. So when you're repinning this, you want to make sure you get all of the layers. You've got your body, your accent, and your cuff. So you have a lot of layers. Just make sure that you get those all lined up the best you can. Now we have this all lined up. We're going to use a 1/4 inch seam and sew all the way down, and I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch foot to make it easier. When you start and stop, you'll want to do a back stitch. And now your pillowcase is started. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you need to pull the inside out. And now you can see that what you've done in this first step is you've got your cuff nicely attached to the back and you have a finished seam. Now you have your cuff with a hidden seam, and you're just going to take this to the iron and press and get it nice and flat. So now you have this ironed, you're going to take this and put wrong sides together, just like this, and you're going to really line up the cuff all the way across, and then you're going to look and make sure these are lined up, and we're going to want to cut a straight line here and a straight line at the bottom. So I think it's easiest to start right here, and we're going to just take as little as possible off. So you're just trying to get your salvage off. So I'm going to use the line on the ruler. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the cuff and start cutting. Now see right here, I need to go in a little bit. I'm just going to cut straight. And there's a little bit of salvage showing, and that's okay because that's going to go in the seam. And then you just line up your ruler where you cut previously and finish cutting across. Turn the pillowcase and make one nice cut across this side. And what you want to do is make sure this is lined up and the bottom of your ruler is lined up. So it's a straight cut on all. You're going to get 90-degree angles on all your corners. Then from here, you're going to clip these two sides together. And here I'm going to use Wonder Clips because it's not as many layers. When I had a lot of layers, I was just a little bit nervous about using the Wonder Clips. But with this, I think it'll be great. So I'm going to use Wonder Clips there. And then here, I'm going to line these up and just make sure these are really lined up. Now what we're going to do is start right here on the cuff. We're going to stitch, back stitch, and then stitch all the way to a 1/4 inch away, pivot, go all the way down here and back stitch. And this will be a 1/4 inch seam on both sides. So this is going to seem funny because you're stitching on the right side of the fabric, but that is what's going to create the French seam. So even though it seems funny, just trust me, it's going to work. So now you can see the stitches. You're going to go over to this corner right here, and you're going to just cut a little tiny triangle just to reduce the bulk, only on that corner. Then you're going to flip this wrong sides out. And you really just want to get that nice and even. So I'm going to take this to the ironing table. I think it'll make it a little bit easier, and I'm going to take my Wonder Clips. And this is how it looks. And we're just going to Wonder Clip that just so it stays in place. If you have any loose threads here, trim them off. And here we're going to create the finish of our French seam. You're always going to want to start at the cuff because that's going to keep this nice and straight. You will start and backstitch. You'll go all the way around, and right here you're going to have to lengthen your stitch length probably because it's going to be bulky. And you're going to sew all the way to about 3/8 of an inch around, and then all the way down here and backstitch. Now what you're doing here is you need to use a 3/8 inch seam because that is going to enclose the previous seam so that everything is nice and enclosed. If you have to go slightly above 3/8 of an inch, that's fine also. Now right here, I'm just going to use one of these lines as my guide for the 3/8 of an inch. So right here, you will see where that accent fabric is. You'll kind of have a little bump, and that's okay. That's just the bulk that's right there. So just do 3/8 of an inch, and if you have to move a little bit outside, that's fine, and then just go back to your 3/8 of an inch. And now your pillowcase is done. You just fold it right side out, and you can see now you don't have to worry about having a zigzag stitch And then when you look right here, you will see it's all covered up. And you'll just press and get it nice and flat. And luckily, this all lined up. So that's great. So now all you have to do is stuff this with a standard pillow. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we gave you the measurements for king pillow. And you could do that, just use the same technique. And this is ready to go. Now, we've also made these pillowcases in a couple of different options. So let me show you some different options just for fun. Here are some soft pillowcases we made in different fabrics to show you how to personalize them to your home decor. Soft, sophisticated, bright. Make it work for you. This pillowcase is really cute for a little girl's room, and I love the accent fabric that we used with the cuff. And this one you can see we contrasted with a stripe, a dot, and a floral, and that gives you a really nice look, and that stripe is just a really great cuff. We hope you love this 10-minute pillowcase. Super fun, great for beginners, and it's even a project kids could do. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you every Friday on my weekly live streams.